You had a chat room question?
We have a couple of them, but I'll just ask this kind of a side question. By the way, someone said 350 yards. Wow, that's impressive regarding what you said earlier.
Well, exactly. I mean, we didn't sit out there and measure it, but you know, we walked about
quarter mile,
about 12 minutes, and there we were. So, give or take a yard and a half, it was probably in the 350 to 400 yard range. So,
well, very definitely.
There were two quick ones. One was that, what should a person do you suggest if their dog is bitten by a snake and the owner does not know if the snake is poisonous?
Seek medical treatment
immediately.
Have a veterinarian look at it very quickly. There are rattlesnakes. You're going to get some swelling very quickly. Typically, there's a lot of ranch dogs, at least in Arizona, that are bit by snakes that they don't ever get medical treatment, and the dogs do fine. But a lot of dogs don't do fine. So I would always advise seek medical treatment from your veterinarian.
Okay. The other question that I think is on a lot of people's mind: how do you think dogs can find their way back when they're lost, or somehow, get taken away to an area, sometimes even hundreds or more miles from home? How does that work?
Well, I think just like with some people, dogs have an internal compass, that they follow, that tell them which way to go, and they just know when they're home. Some people are able to go out and navigate in the wilderness without use of a compass or a GPS, and they always know how to get back to where they started. I think it's something similar to that. I don't know. I'm not an animal expert by any means for that part, but I just know that some dogs do it and are able to easily do it, and they just know where they're going and how to get there. Others aren't able to navigate. No. They get lost. Same with people.
Yes, for sure.
The training of the dogs that you're involved with, for the most part, the handler never allows the dog to go way, way off to where they can't see the dog, but every once in a while, we had this happen in Williams, if you recall, on the search for Caleb Anderson. One of the dogs got lost, and it was just the fact that the type of area we were in, the dog could be 7 feet in front of you and you couldn't see it. You could see the grass move and you could hear the dog making all this noise, but there are times where if the handler doesn't pay real close attention or stay on top of where the exact location of the dog is, it'll get lost. But literally...
Well, let me qualify that a little bit, Kelly, because that dog actually wasn't lost. It was a trailing dog that got onto scent, and the handler had to drop the leash. And she was doing a bunch of consulting on her map and stuff. The dog continued on the trail. It was not lost. So it really wasn't lost. The dog was following the scent source it had been trained to follow. The handler just got separated from the dog on that case, and that's a trailing dog. The air scent dogs are taught to work out away from us, and my dogs have worked as far as 3/4 of a mile out away from me. Typically, a lot of air scent handlers will, because their dogs do work at such distance, they will put a bell on their dog with a certain sound so that we can hear it at further distances. My dogs are taught, they wear a remote collar when they're training, or when we're working. And the reason for that is there's a vibration feature on it. And if I tap the vibration feature, which I do if I haven't seen my dogs in a long period of time, I'll tap it. My dogs will come back in and make visual contact with me before going back to searching.
Oh, that's a plus. That is very helpful. Yes.
Well, and the main component of that, as I'm sure Kristi was heading towards, is, if you can't see your dog, you can't see the dog alert. So you do have to have some kind of close proximity and keep your dog to where you can at least see the dog alert. But the cool thing about most of the dogs, if they find something, they're coming back to find the owner because they're excited. And I think that's pretty much every dog. Well, and that's one of the training techniques, is they want to bring the owner back to what they found. Isn't that correct, Kristi?
Right. And our air scent dogs and our trailing dogs are taught meaning they go out, they would find something, and the handler may not see them get in scent and work the scent cone, and so the dog may work it, go to source, and then they're all taught to come back to the handler and give the handler a trained indication that, hey, I found my source, and then return the handler to that. But the average person watching this doesn't always know exactly what's going on. We train different types of indications for different things. My female for her air scent indication. I mean, she slams me in the chest with all 4 feet. But her cadaver and human remains detection is a little bit more subtle. In water work, it's much more subtle because you obviously can't be having her slam you in knocking you out of the boat when you're doing water work. And so those things can vary.
Well, before we're about to end the show, and I really want to thank you for coming on today.
Yes.
I'm sure a ton of information that people had no clue of how these dogs work and how successful the dogs are, and how successful we've been in the past. But one of the final things I wanted to ask you, Kristi, is if someone here in Arizona wants to join the search and rescue group, how do they go about doing that?
Contact us through our website or via email, volunteer@azstar.com. Send us an email, and we'll be happy to answer all your questions and assist you, in coming out and seeing if it is something for you.
And Kristi, can you refer others who are listeners all over the world, really? Can you refer them perhaps to somewhere?
Absolutely. I was just going to say,
Great.
if anybody is interested in doing search and rescue in their area, if I do not know a team, I can do an inquiry and I can find somebody to refer them to.
Wonderful, because I know we're having little questions about that too. Where would they find you?
Well, they would find us. Well, they would if they do volunteer or training at AZStar.org. They would find me. That's going to go to me.
Well, I think we're out of time, Kristi, but I want to thank you once again. Appreciate you coming on with the show today, and appreciate everything you do out there trying to help people find their loved ones.
Well, thank you, Kelly. I appreciate the time to be able to help educate people.
Alrighty, well, in this particular case, when I say kiss your pets on the lips, then...
you mean it. You mean it.
Yes, I do, and especially with Kristi being on. Thanks, Kristi.
Thank you, and it's volunteer@azstar.com.
Good show.
Yep.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.